Hey girls, it's been a while. I've actually been looking through my collection recently and trying to figure out how to organize it more efficiently because I've noticed I don't use a lot of my products. I kind of get in a rut and I use the same products over and over again. So I've been going through my collection and I've been organizing them in categories and things like that to see what I can do. And I found that I have so many eyeshadows that I've just not even touched or barely touched or haven't touched in a while. And because I have so many eyeshadows, I end up just using the ones that are close to me. I've came up with this, it's kind of like a weekly basket, but it's not exactly a weekly one. It's more of a monthly basket for my eyeshadows in particular. So if you're interested, just keep watching. So what I've decided is collected a whole bunch of my eyeshadows. I did this a month ago. So for a month I've tried it out and I liked it. So I'm doing a new one for August. And I'm going to show you guys what I have decided to do. And I have them in this little clear container. But first I've decided a few things. This summer I've been trying to use some of my bronzers because I've realized my blushes I can hit pan on. I always tend to find a way to hit pan on my blushes, even though I have quite a few and I rotate them, but I do use them. My bronzers, I don't have too many, but I barely ever use them. So I've been trying to use them more in the summer because it's perfect time. And I've been trying to use this e.l.f. blush and bronzer duo. And I've been trying to use the bronzer in it. I've kind of been trying to use the blush a little bit, but I've been working on the bronzer, so it'd be fantastic to have at least one bronzer that I've hit pan on. So what I've decided to do is do this kind of a basket, and it's going to be more of a monthly basket, and it's full of the eyeshadows that I've just put in here, and I keep it where I keep my face products, and so I just grab these eyeshadows and try to work on them per month. Some of these are actually some of the eyeshadows I had last month, and I decided to keep some of them to see if I can use them up a little bit more. I'll start off with my cream shadows. I've got two of them. This one is, sorry about that, it's a Benefit one, and it is Gossip Betty. It is, I got this a while ago. It's kind of a purple, but it's like a gray purple, and I've used quite a bit of it, but it's one of those that it's dried up on me twice, and I've used like Fix Plus to bring it back to life and make it creamy again. I'd love to finish this. That would be fantastic. This one is the Color Tattoo in Bad to the Bronze, and I like this. This is good. So I'm trying to use up at least, use them up, not finish them, but use as much as I can. There's no time limit to this. I'm just kind of rotating some of my makeup. That's basically my plan. I've got a couple of eyeshadows. This is a Yavi one that I got from my top box a few months ago, and since I got it I never used it. It just sat in my collection, so I decided I'm gonna start putting it in here. I've used it a couple of times since I put it in this little basket, which is fantastic. I also have this Essence eyeshadow. I really like it. Sorry if you can't get the color very well. I have really horrible lighting right now. It's cloudy outside, and it's number 35, Party All Night. It's a really nice color. It's similar to the bronze, and I'm just trying to see if I can maybe make a bigger dent on it since I've gotten it. I've used it a couple of times, but well, I'll see if I can maybe hit pan on it one day. Well, sooner than later. These are my Sally Girl eyeshadows. I got one in Coral. This is Coral, and this is Champagne. I've been trying to use them kind of like this one as a highlighter. This is kind of all over, and I don't like them. I don't like these, and I used to have a whole bunch of these, which I gave, I think, to my mom, and then I went back and I bought these two thinking, oh, I can use this nice highlighter, peachy color. I don't like them. I've used them a couple of times. I find that they're patchy. They don't blend very well. So I'm never going to get these again. I have a couple that I like. This is a Clinique eyeshadow duo. And it is in Coffee Shop. I think I took this from my sister, or she gave it to me. And I love it. I did not use it for... I pretty much barely used it when like it's got a dent in it, but my sister used to use it, and so when she gave it to me, I barely used it then, but I've been using it last month quite a bit, and I've been using it this month so far, and I love these eyeshadows. They're really, really good, so that's great. I'm finding things I like. I have 2 of these e.l.f. quads. And I've got one in Ocean's Dream, so it's a blue colored one. And I've got the Drama one. I like the Drama, it's really good, very well pigmented. I just have a lot of smoky eye palettes. I've got a couple more that I have not, I have so many that I wanted to go through at least this one and finish it off if I can. And this one is another one. I realize I have a whole bunch of blues and I don't wear blues that often. So I decided I'm gonna use this quad and see how I like wearing blues. Maybe I'll stop buying blue eyeshadows. Sorry about that. I have this CoverGirl trio in Golden Sunset. And I bought it because it was a huge rage on YouTube. Everyone talks about the CoverGirl trios. They're not very pigmented. They have very light coloring. They're not bold or strong. It works fine as an everyday neutral color, but they're not super pigmented. They work okay. So I kind of mix it with some of the other ones to just add a little bit of extra color. I have here a blush, but I think I'm going to change this blush. I like this one. This is the Hard Candy Bombshell blush. I've used quite a bit, if you can tell. The dome has gone down. It's gotten flat on the top. You can see it now. And it's fine. It's a nice blush. I have a whole bunch of blushes. I don't have an issue with my blushes. I tend to rotate them enough, and I have hit pan on... I've finished a couple of blushes before, so I'm not too worried about my blushes. And I've got this Milani eyeshadow in Illusion, and it's a pink color. I've hit pan on it. Not pan on it. I've made a dent on it. Sorry about that. So it's nice. I'm gonna see if I can at least hit pan on this. I don't have a time frame for any of this. It's kind of, some of these I might even take to next month. So if I, this I might even take till September. I'm not sure. It depends on what I feel. But what I wanted to focus on, I don't know if you can tell over here, is pigments, because it's summertime. I figured pigments is a perfect eyeshadows for me to use right about now. And I have all these Pure Luxe pigments that I bought a long time ago. Technically, I bought a while ago, and I've just not used them as much. I've used them a few times, so I picked out a bunch of colors that I figured for everyday makeup I'll just use my pigments and see if I can get through some of these, or at least use up quite a bit of them. And on the weekends, if I want something, or if there's a party or something, then I'll use some of my more high-end or nicer makeup. So I've got a pigment, it's called Mango Tango. It's kind of an orange color. I've got 2 more that's almost the same kind of color, so I'm going to try to finish, if I can, one of those. They're not all Mango Tangos, but they're all very similar color. I've got this purple one called Shadow Amethyst. So it's I don't want to open them because they're pigments, so they're messy. But it's a nice purple. I've used this actually the last 2-3 days, and it's very, very nice. I've got some dark ones. They're both, this is more red and this is a little bit more brown, and this is called Wicked Ways, and it's a kind of a brick color. This is a little bit more brown, and this is Shadow Rusty. The writing's kind of worn off, but it's a bit more reddish. It'll be nice in the evening. I've got some of these light ones, so I've got this one in, this is a pink color, but I think this is one of those that you have to, oh! Sorry. I didn't break it. It's one of those that you have to mix it with water, because some of these, if you mix it with water, the colors change, and it's really cool. I've got April Mix, which is kind of a highlight shade. I've got a couple of highlight shades. I've got this vanilla one that's also a highlight shade. Sorry, you can't see them very well. And I've got two blushes. This is Blush and Cheeky. I'm really loving this blush. This reminds me of one of my MAC blushes in Breath of Plum. It's very close to that blush. I actually swatched it on my hand, and it's very, very similar. This on my cheeks, it looks almost the same thing. I think this is a little more pink, and that one's a little bit more plum, but it's very, very close. And there's this blush in Bliss, so it's kind of I don't know if you can see it. It's shiny. I don't know. It's a nice one. So I've got a couple of blush samples. I've got this pigment sample I got from Top Box, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember the name of it, and I barely ever used it. But I used it recently, and I like it. It's such a cool. It looks pink, but it's actually a purple. It's one of those violet tones. So it's really cool. I've got two other pigments here. Not sure what I think of them. These were the Essence pigments from like the Twilight collection that they had. And this isn't bad. This one is, their name? Oh, this is Edward Love. This one's a cool kind of a crease color. It's kind of cool. It's like a brown with sparkles. This one is in A Piece of Forever. It is really glittery. I've used it recently, and it's one of those I would probably use on top of an eyeshadow or some kind of a sticky base, because it's more of a glitter than an actual pigment. So I'm trying to work on some of my pigments this month, and I might actually pull in, I have more pigments. I have a lot of blue eyeshadow pigments that I haven't even touched yet. And I have a lot of other brands like MAC and stuff like that that I haven't even pulled, but I'm going to see if I can work on some of my Pure Luxe ones. If I can get them down, some of these, like my highlighting ones, like this vanilla, if I could even finish half of this container. This is supposed to be a 1/4 teaspoon. If I can finish like half of that, I would be so happy, because I've had these for a while and I just need to go through some of them. I've been looking at some other websites, and I'm like, I can't order until I finish some of my pigments. So that is basically what I'm planning to do, is try to do these monthly baskets. If you guys are interested, thumbs up this video, leave a comment below and let me know if you guys are interested in this, because then I'll show you what my next month in September, what I decide to put in, because I'll probably be tired of these and I want something different, and I'll probably pull in maybe more palettes. I have a lot of stuff that I just have not even touched or have not put in rotation, so this is a great way for me to use up, or at least use a lot of my makeup in, like if I put them in like these baskets and then rotate them. My face products I'm good with. My lip products, I've been working on those, so I'm good with those. And my blushes and things like that, I've been working on them, and they've been doing quite well. Another thing I've realized, forgot to show you, I made this magnetic palette from a CD case. I thought it was super cool, and then I depotted a whole bunch of a couple of my drugstore eyeshadows in it, and I realized I don't like it when they're depotted. I loved using them when they were in their actual container. After I depotted them, I barely touched it. So I've been trying to work on some of these just to see really bad depotting. I've cracked a whole bunch of them, but I've been working on some of these colors, and I'm trying to like use, well, not use them up, but maybe hit pan on some of them. That'd be fantastic too. I'm trying to be more aware of what I have and try to use what I have. That's basically what I've been trying to do. So let me know in the comments below if you've tried something like this and what you think of it. If you're doing weekly baskets, I'd love to see it. Alright, thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.